What's up guys, it's Zac Perna here and welcome back to the Teenage Bodybuilding series, and today I'm going to be covering social media, looking at how to grow it within the fitness industry and also dealing with a bit of hate as well. So let's get stuck into it. So I have been getting a lot of questions by the young guys on how to grow their social media, how to get a sponsor within the fitness industry. And firstly, I thought there's probably not going to be enough people who want to see this video, so I wasn't going to make it. But looking at the amount of questions that I've been getting and how relevant social media is in fitness today, I thought it's pretty fitting and I'll just put it out there anyway. So I think one thing I really wanted to just touch on before we dive into this, like a Japanese diver that makes those faces, is what do you want to get out of it? So what do you guys want to get out of putting your fitness journey on social media? Is it to help others, or is it just your own personal gain because you want to be famous? Is it, which isn't the worst thing. If that's your thing, then go for it. But don't kid yourself and just think, okay, if somebody would ask you, what do you want to get out of doing this? Hopefully you could articulate a pretty clear answer. So that's one thing, is know why you want to get into it, because for the one reason you guys might think you want to do it, and when you get there, you actually, it wasn't what you thought it was going to be, or it actually isn't what you want to do. So before you stress yourself out over it and start aiming for it, just think, do you really want to pursue a social media career even in fitness, or is it just something you think might be pretty cool? Number two, how to get sponsored. Now, everybody wants a sponsorship in the fitness industry. When I first started posting, I think I was 17 or 18, and I just wanted some free protein. So I wanted a sponsor because I wanted to be aligned with a brand so it looks credible, so I didn't look like I was just a muppet posting photos of myself. And I wanted some free protein as well. So I got my first gig with Vital Strength. I was working at the chemist, so I emailed this brand, had about maybe 1,000 followers, and I said, I'll do this and this for you. I'll try promote as much as I can, and I'd like to be an ambassador of some kind. I didn't even know how it worked, but ended up they took me on, and so it was one free tub of protein per month, and it tasted like absolute shit, but I was so happy because it was this free tub of protein. And I would have to post once a week. So at that point I was posting twice a week on Instagram in general, and I started posting this once a week with the tub, and it was pretty funny to post. I'll see if I can find any. But anyway, so I got my first sponsor when I was like 18, and I was stoked. And then from then on, I kind of just kept trying different brands, and the more my social media grew, I had more opportunities with different brands, and I would take them on. And then for a while, I realized, all right, I don't really care about free protein anymore. This is looking bad on my image if I'm just jumping from one to another. So I stopped, and I thought, I'm not gonna take another sponsor unless it's something that I really, really want. So I didn't have a supplement sponsor for a couple of years, and then EHP Labs hit me up and I took on them, and that was awesome, haven't looked back. And with Gymshark as well, obviously super happy with their stuff, and the brand is amazing. Both brands are great, and so I'm happy to be aligned with them. And if you guys wanna know how to get sponsored, I mean, I'll give you a few tips on what I've found, but Ben Francis, the owner of Gymshark, summarized it really, really well in his video. I'll see if I can chuck it up here. He talks about what Gymshark look for in athletes and what you guys can do again. From an athlete's standpoint, I guess, I think what's very important is to be different and have your own little niche, whatever it is, your own strengths. Everybody is different. I've said this a million times. Everybody's different. They all have different personality characteristics that differentiate them from someone else, on top of the physique and everything else. So find your niche, whatever it is that you're good at, and milk that. So when I first started doing this whole thing, I was always real goofy and stupid. I made stupid videos, and luckily I kept that up and I didn't bury that down, because I would be the same as everybody else. That turned out to be one of my strong points that I could use from time to time, and now I still try to use it. I try to be funny in my videos and actually have a good time and make it all fun, and that's kind of what I've done this whole time. So don't copy what someone else is doing, because if you're not a funny person and you're trying to crack a million jokes, people are going to be like, what's this guy doing? Or like, you don't see me going out and spouting all these research articles and telling you guys all this literature as if I'm a scientist, because I don't. I like to explain it in my terms and in easy, ways that are easy to understand, and that's my thing. So find your niche, find your strengths, and just work your strengths. You don't have to be good at everything, but be good at a couple of things, be known for a couple of things, and leverage off that. So if you are really good at science and your knowledge is pretty great, you can speak really well, then use that to your advantage. Don't try to be a comedian, or vice versa. If you're hilarious and the words aren't really a thing, then milk that and be funny. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, whatever strength you have, use it. Now I want to talk a little bit about dealing with hate, because this is pretty huge, especially considering the impact it has on people. Because all of a sudden you can have a normal day and you cop a bit of hate from some random stranger online, probably living in their mum's basement, and it can upset you, it can ruin your day, and it just kills your self-esteem. So I think it's good to get my perspective on it, because I've dealt with a lot. I mean, every day just reading through YouTube comments, because I like to read them all, see what people are saying, and some of them are just brutal. I mean, as you guys have probably seen, but if I were to let every single one of those upset me, I would be miserable, and I'd be, you know, on the verge of jumping off a building with a knife in my head. So you can't like let that shit get to you, because there's people out there, they're gonna be so bitter, so jealous, especially in Australia too. For some reason, if anybody's doing well or putting themselves out there, people are pretty quick to cut them down. So I think it's important to just like rise above that and don't let it affect you, because if you were to see the people that are actually saying that to you, for one, they would never say it to your face anyway, because they just wouldn't, unless they're psychos. And two, the amount of comments I get if people said that to my face would be hilarious. And two, they're just losers. In general, they're losers. If you're putting something out there, you're trying to do good, you're giving out information, you're putting yourself on the line, and then someone who's not doing anything or anything with their life potentially has the audacity to come and just try to bring you down. It's like, what are you even doing, you know? So don't take the bait too, guys. I rarely take the bait, only if something really gets me, which I'll comment back. But generally, I don't comment back. I'll either just delete or hide from the channel so nobody sees it. I don't encourage it, because that negativity breeds negativity. People love gossip. People are gonna wanna jump on, they love arguments. I think people would love it if I were to just reply back to all these hate comments and have these wars, but I don't have time for that, and it's not gonna help anything. So my advice is, if you do get hate, eliminate it, block the person, whatever you have to do, just get rid of it. You don't need that on your profile or channel or whatever it is you're doing. Two, you gotta think about, like, we're being realistic here, so you gotta think, am I doing something that's actually, am I asking for hate? I know that sounds weird, but if you're being super controversial, expect a lot of hate. I don't get too controversial. I've chucked a couple pictures of strap-ons in my workout videos, but that's about it. And I swear sometimes, but I guess that's it. I don't really say too much offensive shit otherwise. So if you're being like mega controversial, expect a bit of backlash. But if you're just putting yourself out there and trying to do the right thing, then you shouldn't really get anything. You don't deserve to get anything. Also too, people can judge you differently as well. If you're just a confident person, people might think this guy's cocky, or especially with YouTube, you've got to be well-spoken and confident in front of a camera. So if people click on you and they think you're cocky, they're gonna automatically want to bring you down and talk shit. So advice too is don't overdo it. Don't over the top, try to be so arrogant thinking people want to see that. Because if you're in the slightest bit arrogant, from what I've found, people bring you down straight away. As soon as I started an Instagram account, I started a fitness Instagram under a different name when I was like 18, because I was so scared of getting hate. So I started it under a different name, and I was, at the time I was pretty young, so I was following all the Ziz stuff, and his mentality was obviously real out there. So I tried to adopt that, and it didn't work for me, because people just thought I was so arrogant. Because if I read the captions, I'm sure they'd be very, very cringeworthy. But and I got a lot of hate for that, because people are like, what do you mean, you're not the best? So if you guys want to be cocky, go for it. Like, by all means, do it. But know that you're probably going to get a bit of shit in return. So yeah, advice to summarize the whole dealing with hate thing: don't let it get to you, guys. Seriously, don't. I get enough of it. If you think you're getting some, I get a shitload, and there's people who get a lot worse than me. So know that there's ways of dealing with it. Don't let it get to you, and don't ask for it as well if you don't want it. The hell, my arm's gone all burnt mode. What's going on here? Just sunburnt the one arm. So I think social media in general is pretty good for fitness. It allows people to connect with each other. It allows for a positive environment. It does have its pros and cons, but I think it's a good thing to do. If you guys are really hesitant to start, you're scared of what people are going to think or say, seriously, fuck what they think. It doesn't even matter in the slightest. I know your close family and friends are probably the biggest of your concerns, but trust me, it's all in your head, whatever you think. And if your parents don't get it, or if they don't support it, they will, and just talk to them and, like, tell them that you're passionate about this and you want to share it with other people, whatever it is. Don't let your fear of what they're going to think of you stop you from doing what you want to do, essentially. This is up to you guys. You guys do whatever you want to do. In terms of just posting in general, so we'll talk about Instagram, we'll talk a bit about YouTube too. If you guys want to do YouTube, great. It's obviously working out for me. I really enjoy it. It's one of my favorite things now. Instagram, if you want to post frequently, post really good content, add as much value as you can. That's what it comes down to, guys, is adding value. Whether you try to entertain people, whether you try to educate people, motivate people, whatever it is, or just put yourself out there, develop relationships with your audience. So that's what YouTube's great for. You can, get to know someone, but, reply back to people. Simple things like that, like reply back to people, be supportive, put positive energy out there, and be encouraging as well to others. And you'll get that back as well. So be consistent with it. It doesn't happen overnight, guys. You've got to be seriously patient with this stuff. And also see what works. For me, this might mean I posted a workout video on Instagram and it went really well. So then I go, cool, I got to do more of those. Or maybe I post a funny skit video that does well. Oh, yeah, I could do a bit more of that. Maybe before and afters. There's so much diversity of content that you guys can work with that you really can change it up all the time and see what works, and just keep adding value to whoever's on the other end of the phone, scrolling. And you got to think, do they have a good reason to follow you? If your page looks really bland and boring and you're not adding too much, you're just recycling quotes and putting photos of yourself up there, it's probably not very attractive to follow, and people aren't going to really want to do that. So you got to think, how much value can I add that people are pretty compelled to follow? And again, on YouTube too, one thing I've been really good at with YouTube is just consistency. As soon as I started, I'm pretty obsessive, so I made sure that I posted every single week, no matter what it was. And that was my thing. I posted once a week. I put that pressure on myself. And I knew that if I put good quality content out there every single week, it's bound to blow up. That's literally what I said. I've never been confident in like anything with this stuff, except I remember having a conversation with my family one time when I think I had a couple of thousand subscribers. And I think it was when the Happy Meal Challenge came out. Yeah, I had maybe 9,000 subscribers. And I was confident that I had put a good quality video out there, and it didn't get any of the views that I thought it was gonna get. And they were like, aren't you upset? And I was like, no, because I know that if I keep doing this, it's just a matter of time. It's not if, it's when. And that's what happened. That's got like nearly 5 million views now, I think. And that video is what I was talking about. I said, damn, that sucks. I thought that was a good video. I thought I could do really well. And it didn't, but then it absolutely killed it. So if I wasn't consistent with all my posts following that, I don't think that would have happened. It wouldn't have got the traction and momentum, and people wouldn't have subscribed. So if shit doesn't work out, which a lot of the time it doesn't, just be consistent, enjoy it. If I hated YouTube, if I hated making videos and trying to help people and let you guys into my life, then I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now, and I wouldn't have the subscribers or the views or this community that I've managed to build with you guys. Is because I enjoy doing it. So if you guys don't enjoy doing it, just kill the baby. Kill it.
Kill it.
Because it's not worth it. It's not worth your time, and you won't get there because you're not going to have that consistency to put in. You're not going to want to do that. So be honest with yourself, guys. Is this something you want to do? If it is, be patient, be consistent, add as much value as possible, develop meaningful relationships with your audience and with real people, and it will happen, guys. Just be patient and confident in yourself. And I hope that was a helpful video. That's just my way of thinking about this whole thing. I hope that it gives you guys a little bit more insight into the way I approach things. If you're holding yourself back from posting or starting this for fear of what others might think, I can't stress this enough. That seriously, just don't let others dictate what you're gonna do, guys, because you're just gonna resent everybody, because you're gonna listen to them and you're gonna resent them, and it's for no reason, when you could literally act now, start today, and work towards whatever you want to achieve. So enough with Zac getting all motivational and deep, but sometimes you just have to hear that. Anyway, guys, that is it from me for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you didn't, be sure to leave me some hate in the comments and I'll delete ya. But otherwise, that is it from me, guys, and you definitely know what to do. Stay massive.
Sexy jeans in my section and slide into your DMs in the PM and the AM. Then I slide into your feelings when you see just what I'm saying.